Hi Shannon, I'm Candice. Today I will do a quick demo for the assignment 3.1. Uh, and I have a few files here, and let's start from the follow adapter, followers activity, and follow info. So basically, those three files are responsible for processing the JSON data and pass the JSON data into the backend. And when people choose to follow some people, we can reflect all of the data in the front end. And also, those three data are also responsible for writing all of the JSON data and store them into the local files. So to begin with, let's see the utility file. So HTTP handler is a basic file, and all of the three files will operate based on this HTTP handler. And this one I have showed it last week. So it will basically it will process the HTTP request. And the follower adapter will actually it will use the bitmap, and it will actually have the HTTP URL connection by using the HTTP handler. And the followers activity will actually first I will have the URL to get contacts JSON. So this is my API, and I have a read list and to a read list to store those data. So here is my onCreate button, and the increase integer and decrease integer will actually to track the operation of the users to make sure that we will update the right integer in the front end. And the display function is a helper function for the increase integer and decrease integer to simply display the integer in the mobile page, which is XML layout. And here the download image task will actually process the image JSON data from the API call and review it in the image view. And get follow info will actually async task class to get JSON by making the HTTP call. So this part is actually I set it online. And doing background, I also set it some of the codes online here. So here I use a make service call, which is one of the functions in the HTTP handler. So here we will actually make a request to the URL and get response. And we will try to load all of the JSON data and store them in a local file, which named store info. And here we will try to open the file and write the data, and then try to close the file. So here is basically what we did for how to process the JSON data. If the JSON data that we got will not equal to none, then we will actually try to get those ID and then to store them into those variables. And then I will have a hash map, so I will store the key value pairs and then reflect it into the list view of the XML page. And onPost execute will actually set the adapter after get a JSON file from the API. So this will actually do something that help people to track the intent and set the data. And this is the part of the code that I set it online. And follower info is actually the Java module that have the few helper function, which will return the follow username, the image URL, and the follow link. So the same logic actually applies to the following adapter followers activity. And here is my profile activity. So following adapter is very similar to the followers adapter, and followings activity is actually very similar to followers activity. And profile activity is actually for the how do we get the data from the how do we handle the user's action on the profile page, which is the main page. I had this file last week, and repo info is actually the code that I refactored from the last week. And this is a repository activity, which is how do we process the JSON data from the repository. And this is a user adapter. So now let's have a look at the layout. So there are three files that I updated compared with the last week code. And this is a follower item, and I have the image view, the button, the text view. So this one is actually it will used together with activity followers. So activity followers is the whole list view of the 4 items, and the followers item is actually the specific item of each list view. And from the backend part, we will put hash map into the list view and fill the items into those each part, the text view part, the image part. And this is a following item, and the structure is really similar as a follower item. And this is my login.smil page. And this is my repo item. So let's have a look at the quick demo. Okay, so this is the main page of the of my app. I refactor some UI compared with last week, and this is the repositories, and then we can get all of the JSON data. And then let's go back and let's see the followers. So instead of showing the followers on the main page, I choose to show the followers at here. And let's go back, and this is the followings. And let's see how do we follow and unfollow each user. So if I choose follow, then here following will actually change, and it said followed successfully. And let's unfollow. Here it will change back from 18 to 17, and here is unfollowed successfully. Let's go back, and this is the followings. The following people is 17. And let's see, we choose to unfollow this person. So if we choose to unfollow, all of the file here will actually disappear. And we cannot simply go to any URL because it's deleted. And if we choose to follow back, then we can actually change this user back from the backend part and show it in the front end. And let's go back and let's see how do we log in. So here is my part 2 part, which is this is my client ID and client secret, and I have bundled it with my GitHub ID, which is Candice Candy, and my password. So let's try. If I click login, the username, if I type something like this, and password I type some other things. So this is a wrong account. And even though I click login very hard, I cannot log in. And I can only log in to this app by entering the right profile. So so login, and then I can log in to this page. And and I will also show the local data that stored the JSON API. So which one is mine? It's kind of messy. This part, and no, app build generated source build config. So those two are the TXT file that generated. So this is the store info, this is the store list, and if we open it, actually it stores exactly the same info from the API call result, and the same logic applies to this file. And as for the Android test, I cannot. So I have wrote the unit test chunk of codes here, but because I cannot install JUnit 4 successfully on Android Studio, and it crashed a lot of times, so I just put it there and I simply uncomment it. But if we installed this JUnit 4 and this instrument intention registry, those two libraries successfully, then I'll be able to test the file. So yeah, and here is my manual test, not manual test. This is my I added here. Yeah, my final project proposal. So here, this is my 242 final project, and what we want to do is we want to make the app that aim to help students targeting the right career path by making the personality analyzing quiz. So what problem do we want to solve, and our background motivation, the technical specifications, features, timelines, and future enhancements are here, and I actually cooperated this proposal together with the other two potential co-workers, which is teammates, which is Xuan Yi and Tian Wei. Okay, thank you, Shannon. I'm sorry that I'm absent from the discussion, and I think I will recover soon. If you have anything that I don't understand, feel free to let me know, and I will be willing to explain again. Thanks for sharing. Bye, and have a nice day.